أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم صلى الله عليه. Praise God, the bringer of all creation from nullity, then blessing be on the chosen one from eternity, sallallahu alayhi. O Master of first and last, I beg of you to accept this little gift to your grace from someone as low as me, sallallahu alayhi. A token of love and hope of getting a glimpse of you, then spending my days and nights with you for eternity, sallallahu alayhi. A word of praise for the praised, O you the praiseworthy one, a praise unfit for your highness, beauty and majesty, sallallahu alayhi. And even though it can never reach the height of your rank, it can be reached by your hand of limitless charity. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله. صلى الله عليه. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم صلى الله عليه. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم صلى الله عليه. Is it from thinking of neighbors past in Salami that you have mixed blood and tears that flow from eyes steadily, sallallahu alayhi, or blowing of wind from the direction of Kalima and lightning flashing from Idam in the dark that you see, sallallahu alayhi. So what is wrong with your eyes? When you say stop, they just weep. And with your heart, when you say be sane, it acts crazily, sallallahu alayhi. Does one so love struck imagine love is concealable between a downpour from it and being so fiery, sallallahu alayhi. If not for passion, you would have never burst into tears at their remains, nor lost sleep over the mount or the tree, sallallahu alayhi. So how do you still deny a love to which testified against you true witnesses of tears and infirmity, sallallahu alayhi? We've has fixed on your cheeks canals of tears and malaise, like branches of dogwood red and daffodils yellowy. Sallallahu alayhi. Yes, sights of my love have come at night and kept me awake. How love repels all delights and comforts with agony. Sallallahu alayhi. You critic of love so passionate, an apology from me to you. But if you were true, you'd not censure me. Sallallahu alayhi. May you be spared what I bear. My secret isn't concealed from haters, nor is there any end to my malady. Sallallahu alayhi. You've offered me true advice, but simply I hear it not. The lover is deaf to all of those who speak critically. Sallallahu alayhi. I've even doubted gray hair's advice when it censures me. Although gray hair with advice is less in dubiety. Sallallahu alayhi. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. صلى الله عليه. My master, bless and salute always and forevermore your most beloved creation's greatest entirely. Sallallahu alayhi. Ya Rabbi salli wa sallim daiman abadan ala al-habibi wa ahli al-bayti kullihim. Sallallahu alayhi. My keeper, bless and salute always and forevermore the most beloved and all the household entirely. Sallallahu alayhi. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik alayhi wa ala alihi.
It's not coming on your Facebook. Old Mayor is saying he doesn't see anything either. You're connected to the internet and everything fine, right?
اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله. صلى الله عليه. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. صلى الله عليه. My evil ego and its stupidity paid no heed to all the warning of graying hair and seniority. Sallallahu alayhi. And hasn't set out a spread of pleasing actions to host a guest who showed at my head bereft of timidity. Sallallahu alayhi. And had I known that I'd fail to honor him, I'd have hidden using hair colorant his first appearance to me. Sallallahu alayhi. Who's there for me to control the fight of its wandering, just as a bit bridles horses in their obstinacy. Sallallahu alayhi. So do not count on offenses to get rid of its lust. Food only intensifies the craving of gluttony. Sallallahu alayhi. The ego is like a baby, leave it and it grows up, in love with suckling, but wean it and it's weaned finally. Sallallahu alayhi. So fight its whim and beware of giving power to it. When whim's empowered, it kills or damages markedly. Sallallahu alayhi. And shepherd it carefully as it is grazing in deeds. And if the pasture you find it fancies, don't let it be. Sallallahu alayhi. How many times it's convinced a man of killer delights, while blind to the poison in the gravy so savory. Sallallahu alayhi. Beware the ambush of being hungry and being full. Starvation at times is even worse than satiety. Sallallahu alayhi. And void of tears eyes that have been stuffed with forbidden things. Keep in the shelter of pure repentance unceasingly. Sallallahu alayhi. And contradict both the self and devil and disobey. And if they give true advice to you, still look skeptically. Sallallahu alayhi. And do not settle with either as your lawyer or foe. You're well aware of a lawyer's and a foe's treachery. Sallallahu alayhi. I ask for pardon from God for empty word with no deed. I have ascribed by it to a sterile man progeny. Sallallahu alayhi. I've ordered you to do good, but have ignored it myself. I'm not upstanding, so who am I to tell you to be? Sallallahu alayhi. I haven't packed extra deeds in preparation for death. I haven't prayed, haven't fasted, but the compulsory. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. I violated the way of him who lies in the dark until his feet had complained of swelling up painfully, and out of hunger would bind his abdomen and would wrap beneath a hard stone a waist whose skin is so velvety the lofty mountains made into gold for him try to be a way to bait him, so he true loftiness let them see his poverty only strengthen his disinterest in them, for never are protectees assaulted by poverty. How could it tempt to this world the poverty of him who, if not for him, the whole world would not have been made to be? Muhammad, the master of both worlds and both beings and both groups, the Arabs and the non-Arab community. Muhammad, the master of both worlds and both beings and both groups, the Arabs and the non-Arab community. Our prophet, who is commander and forbidder, there is no one more true in his saying no or yes than is he. He is the loved one whose intercession we're hopeful of at every horror to hit, yes, every calamity. He has invited to God, so all who grip onto him are gripping rope that will never fray for eternity. He tops the prophets in both appearance and character. They don't approach him in knowledge or in generosity, and all of them are receiving from Allah's messenger a sip from down pouring rain or handful scooped from the sea, and all are standing before him at their own limits fixed, a dot of knowledge or mark from words of sagacity. He is the one with perfected essence and outward form, picked as the love of the maker of all humanity, beyond a partner in his so beautiful qualities. Yes, undivided in him is beauty's whole entity. Avoid what Christians have claimed about their own messenger, and give to him any praise you wish and praise sensibly. Avoid what Christians have claimed about their own messenger, and give to him any praise you wish and praise suitably. Ascribe to his person what you wish of nobility. Ascribe to his stature what you wish of immensity. Indeed, Allah's messenger's perfection has no frontier that any speaker could ever verbalize orally, and were his marvels to match his worth in greatness, his name when called would give life to bones decayed to nihility. He tried us not from concern with things that boggle the mind, and so we haven't faced any doubt or perplexity. Conceiving his meaning has exhausted the universe, so near or far, one not dumbstruck by it, you will not see. Much like the sun from afar it does appear small to eyes, and would impair any vision when in proximity. And how could people asleep distracted from him by dreams begin to grasp in the present world his reality? The peak of knowledge about him is that he is a man and is the best of Allah's creation entirely, and all the marvels the noble messengers have conveyed have come to them from the light of Ahmed exclusively. He is the sun of esteem to which they are as if moons reflecting its lights in darkness is to humanity. How grand the form of a prophet, brightened by character, enveloped by handsomeness, distinguished by jollity, like flowers in fineness, the full moon in ascendancy, the ocean in giving, and all time in tenacity. When he's alone and you meet him, he is like one amid an army and entourage, because of his majesty. From treasure chests of his eloquence and his grin do seem to be pearls preserved within their shells, Preciously no scent compares to the earth embracing his blessed form for him who sniffs it or kisses it. What felicity مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. My master bless and salute always and for evermore your most beloved creation's greatest entirely. يا ربي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على الحبيب وأهل البيت كلهم. My keeper bless and salute always and for evermore the most beloved and all the household entirely. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik alayhi wa ala alihi. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik alayhi wa ala alihi. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله صلى الله عليه. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم صلى الله عليه. His noble birth did reveal the purity of his roots, how pure the outset of them as well as finality. Sallallahu alayhi. A day the Persians perceived that they indeed had been warned of the occurrence of suffering and adversity. Sallallahu alayhi. The arch of Khusro had passed the night while falling apart, just like the status of Khusro's peers without unity. Sallallahu alayhi. The fire was short of breath, out of regret over it. The river lost all its current, out of despondency. Sallallahu alayhi. It saddened Sawa to find the drying up of its lake, and thirsty seekers returning from the place angrily. Sallallahu alayhi. As if the fire had gotten water's wetness from grief, and water had burnt up as a fire burns seethingly. Sallallahu alayhi. The jinn were speaking aloud, and lights were shining so bright. The truth is made manifest in signal and verbally. Sallallahu alayhi. But blind and deaf they were, so the happy news went unheard, and flashes of lightning as a warning they didn't see. Sallallahu alayhi. All after their fortune teller notified all the folk, their old religion so crooked soon would no longer be. Sallallahu alayhi. And after they eyed in the horizons the shooting stars, all crashing like statues in the earth for idolatry. Sallallahu alayhi. Until from the source of revelation up in the sky, one after the other each retreating demon did flee. Sallallahu alayhi. They were when fleeing just like the heroes of Abraha, or like a pelted with pebbles from his hands infantry. Sallallahu alayhi. Hurled after having extolled while in the palms of his hands, hurled like the swallowed extoller from the gut cavity. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله. مولاي مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. The trees had come for his call, prostrate in humility. They came to him on their trunks like footless legs walking free, as if they had drawn along the way a straight line for what their branches had written in the finest calligraphy, just like the cloud moving with him as he moved anywhere from noon's intense oven heat, protecting him constantly. I swear an oath by the moon which split in two that it has a likeness to his pure heart, an oath of veracity, and what the cave did contain of good and nobility, with every look from the disbelievers too blind to see the truth, and truthful in faith inside the cave hadn't moved, all while they were saying that inside the cave none could be. They thought no dove hovered and no spider spun any web for him, the best of creation, thinking its vacancy protection from God made needless, reinforced armature, or towering citadels providing security. No day has time gone to harm me, and I have sought his care, but that I have gotten care from him without mockery, nor have I asked of the riches of both worlds from his hand without largesse from the best of givers coming to me. Do not deny revelation from his dreaming, because his heart, though his eyes may shut, is open wide and to see. And that was so at the very start of his prophethood. So with that state of the dreaming, no one can disagree. How blessed is God, revelation isn't something attained, nor is a prophet suspected in what we do not see. How many times has his palm by touch relieved the unwell, and freed the helpless from in the noose of insanity. His call gave life to a gray and barren year full of drought, till it became like a star in ages of ebony. With teeming clouds you'd have thought the valleys had rivers flow in from the sea, or a flooded dam that gush viciously. Leave me alone to describe his miracles, which are plain as nightly fire on mountains lit, as a courtesy, for pearls increase in their beauty when arranged on a string, but aren't less precious kept alone and separately. What eulogizing has any hope of stretching to reach what he possesses in noble nature and quality? مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. My Master, bless and salute always and forevermore your most beloved creations, greatest entirely. يا رب صل وسلم دائما أبدا على الحبيب وأهل البيت كلهم. My keeper, bless and salute always and forevermore the most beloved and all the household entirely. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله. Allow yourselves to be moved by the words. They may or may not resonate with you. If they do, allow it, take it in. Either be joyous or allow the grief to settle in, the grief of love. So there should be, our faces should either be lit up with joy or feeling or showing the grief of longing. And if we're not feeling it, then at the very least, a couple of possibilities. One is to, quote unquote, fake it till you make it. Force it, allow it, such that our outer transforms our inner. So if you have to force a smile, force a smile. If you have to force a tear, force a tear. Now, if you're struggling to draw forth from the meanings, to inspire a smile or a tear, then just remember that you've shown up and Allah has brought you here to say Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And if of all the infinite possibilities, Allah chose you to mention and eulogize Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. If that doesn't bring a tear to your eye or a smile to your face, inshallah there isn't. If that doesn't, inshallah that's enough too. Even if none of the particular meanings, you may not be fully present with them, even if none of the meanings in the qasida, in the poem, fully resonate with you, then just enjoy the fact that you are mentioning Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik alayhi wa ala alihi sallallahu alayhi. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم صلى الله عليه. And I want to hear you. True signs from the merciful originated in time, beginningless trade of him who is beginninglessly sallallahu alayhi. They aren't bound by constraints of time as they tell us of the day to come, also add an Iram past history, sallallahu alayhi. They stayed among us and so transcended all miracles from all the prophets as they had come and then ceased to be, sallallahu alayhi. So wise and clear that they leave no room for a single doubt to an opponent and have no need for a referee, sallallahu alayhi. And never were they attacked except that from battle did return to them with surrendered arms the worst enemies, sallallahu alayhi. Their eloquence fought off their dissenters' claim as a man that is protective fights off attack from his family, sallallahu alayhi. Possessing meanings like waves upon the sea in support, surpassing its treasures in allure and sublimity, sallallahu alayhi. Such that their wonders are countless and beyond any bound, and never found to be tiresome in great quantity, sallallahu alayhi. By them is soothed their reciters, so I said to him, you have indeed found the rope of God, so hold steadily, sallallahu alayhi. If you recite them in worry of the fire of hell, from their cool fountain they douse the burn of hell utterly, sallallahu alayhi. Just like the basin as it is whitening every face of sinners coming to it, like coals as black as can be, sallallahu alayhi. And like the straight bridge and like the balance in equity, without them no justice is maintained in society, sallallahu alayhi. Be not amazed by a hater in denial of them, who acts unknowing despite full knowledge and mastery, sallallahu alayhi. and I may even reject the light of sun when inflamed, a mouth rejecting the taste of water from malady. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. O best of those whose front yard is sought by those seeking good on foot and on backs of camels treading vigorously, and you who are sign supreme for one who does seek to know, and greatest blessing for one in search of prosperity. O best of those whose front yard is sought by those seeking good on foot and on backs of camels treading vigorously, and you who are sign supreme for one who does seek to know, and greatest blessing for one in search of prosperity. O best of those whose front yard is sought by those seeking good on foot and on backs of camels treading vigorously, and you who are sign supreme for one who does seek to know, and greatest blessing for one in search of prosperity. From sanctum to sanctum you had made the trip overnight, just as the moon makes the trip through darkness knock. You spent the night rising up until you had reached a place a length of 2 bows, not gained or sought in all history, and all the prophets and messengers had put you ahead, just as the served over servants has the priority. As you proceeded through all the 7 levels with them in a procession, you were the banner bearer to see, until you had left no goal for the ambitious in hope of closeness, nor height for someone seeking ascendancy. You humbled all ranks by annexation. You were addressed like an annexed proper noun with singular dignity, so that you triumph with a connection, oh, so concealed from eyes, and a secret, oh, so shrouded in mystery. So you obtained every glory, no one else joining you, and you surpassed all alone, unchallenged every degree. The measure of stations you were granted, what majesty, attaining the blessings you were given, what rarity. Great news for us, people of Islam indeed. We possess a pillar of special care erected unbreakably, and since Allah called the one who called us to serving him, the greatest prophet. We are the greatest community. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. My master bless and salute always and forevermore your most beloved creation's greatest entirely. يا ربي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على الحبيب وأهل البيت كلهم. My keeper bless and salute always and forevermore the most beloved and all the household entirely. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله.
Verse 110, where it's saying he proceeded through all the 7 levels with them. Is it referring to all the prophets, or because 109 is saying all the prophets and messengers have put you ahead, and then 110 is saying the Miraj, Isra al-Miraj, through the 7 levels. It's with
So
all the
maybe we'll explore after we finish, inshallah. So brace yourselves. Up to this point, the chapters have been quite jamali, quite beauty focused, celebrating the beauty of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But you will see that this chapter 8, is actually quite fierce, and it's celebrating the jalal, the might and majesty of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in standing up for the truth. So, and even then you will see, and those with him as well as Sahaba, but you will see also there are hints, even though it's so jalali, the Jamal doesn't disappear. It's just that the Jalal is the majesty is that much more manifest when it's called for. And even within the majesty is still the beauty. And you'll see that in certain verses. And it's a good reminder that love and prophetic love and following the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and celebrating the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and connecting with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is joyous and soft and tender and beautiful and merciful and also strong and mighty and intense when called for. So this is the chapter where it's talking about when that majesty is called for, and you'll feel it. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله صلى الله عليه مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم صلى الله عليه. The gentlest of souls until the enemy forced the fight, abusing him and all his companions so brutally, sallallahu alayhi. The many years of their torture, murder and tyranny he chose to bear and endure, and those with him patiently, sallallahu alayhi. Their only crime being that they called to God him alone, an invitation delivered by them all peacefully, sallallahu alayhi. Until the order from God came down to him, the command, if they keep fighting your call, now fight them back physically, sallallahu alayhi. Though tenderness and compassion are your nature, we know the time has come, you must stop their stopping people from me, sallallahu alayhi. And when it came to the rights of God, the gentle was fierce and struck all horror into the heart of each enemy, sallallahu alayhi. The news of his being sent alarmed the hearts of the foes, just like a roar causing heedless sheep to startle and flee, sallallahu alayhi. He kept courageously facing them at each battlefield till they were butchered by spears like meat in a butchery. Sallallahu alayhi. They longed to flee so much that they watched the parts carried off by buzzards and vultures in a state of near jealousy. Sallallahu alayhi. The nights would pass with them unaware the number of them, except the nights of the sacred months of tranquility. Sallallahu alayhi. As if religion had been a guest arrived at their yard, with every nobleman craving meat of the enemy. Sallallahu alayhi. It brought an ocean of troops on gracefully floating steeds, advancing waves made of heroes surging successively. Sallallahu alayhi. Each in response to the call of God in hope of reward, attacking armed to uproot and shatter idolatry. Sallallahu alayhi. Until the faith of Islam with them among it became, once having been foreign, now a unified family. Sallallahu alayhi. Protected forever from them by the best father and best husband, so not an orphan or a widow is she. Sallallahu alayhi. They are the mountains, so ask about them, their battle foe. At every battle the things from them that he used to see. Sallallahu alayhi. And ask Hunayn, question Badr, and even ask Uhud too. Events of death for them worse than plague and catastrophe. Sallallahu alayhi. Returning white blades now turned to crimson after they reached the fighters with flowing hair of black from the enemy. Sallallahu alayhi. Inscribing with spears of lettering, their pens didn't leave a body lined with undotted I and crossed every T. Sallallahu alayhi. With sharpened weapons they had a mark to set them apart. A rose is set by its mark apart from a thorny tree. Sallallahu alayhi. The victory winds convey to you the sweet news of them. So flowers in bloom you'd reckon every soldier to be. Sallallahu alayhi. They were in horseback like firmly rooted plants up on hills, from grit so solid, not girth of saddle held solidly. Sallallahu alayhi. The enemy's hearts were fluttering in fear of their force, unable to tell a lamb apart from brave cavalry. Sallallahu alayhi. Whoever is aided by the messenger of Allah, if lions meet him inside their woods, they bow silently. Sallallahu alayhi. You will not see any saint that isn't victorious through him, nor any opponent not destroyed utterly. Sallallahu alayhi. He put his nation to dwell inside the fort of his faith, like lion dwelling inside the forest with progeny. Sallallahu alayhi. He put his nation to dwell inside the fort of his faith, like lion dwelling inside the forest with progeny. Sallallahu alayhi. How often the words of God refuted the quarrelsome about him, how often proof defeated the enemy. Sallallahu alayhi. Enlightenment in the one unread is wonder enough in age of darkness and good upbringing in orphancy. Mawlaya salli wa sallim daiman abadan ala habibika khayril khalqi kullihimi. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik alayhi wa ala alihi. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. I've served him with eulogy by which I seek to erase the sins of life spent in poem and in servility. For they have led me to things of horrible aftermath, akin to livestock decreed by them for the butchery. I have obeyed the deceit of youth in both cases, and got nothing but sins, and then regret, oh what misery. Oh, what a loss for my soul, the awful deal that it made, not buying faith with this world, not even browsing to see. Whoever sells off his future for his present will come to see the loss in his sale and future delivery. If I engage in a sin, my covenant isn't void with him, the prophet, nor is the rope dissevered from me. By naming my son Muhammad, I am in pledge to him, and none is more faithful in fulfilling pledges than he. At my appointment, if he's not holding on to my hand in graciousness, say, oh, what a fall into tragedy. Far be it from him to bar the aspirant of his gifts, or send away in dishonor from him a refugee. And since committing my thoughts to singing praises of him, I found him to be the most committed to saving me. The riches from him will not neglect the poor dusty hand. Indeed, the rain causes even hills to be flowery. I sought no bloom of the lower world, the hands of Zuhair had picked for having presented harem with flattery. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. My master, bless and salute always and forevermore your most beloved creations, greatest entirely. يا رب صل وسلم دائما أبدا على الحبيب وأهل البيت كلهم. My keeper, bless and salute always and forevermore the most beloved and all the household entirely. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik alayhi wa ala alihi. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم صلى الله عليه. O my beloved, I beg of you in life and in death to wrap your Burdah of special care and love over me, sallallahu alayhi. Most noble of all creation, what refuge do I have but you at the coming of the global emergency, sallallahu alayhi. O Messenger of Allah, your rank won't shrink from me when the generous manifests his punishing qualities. Sallallahu alayhi. Yes, from your grace is indeed the world as well as its mate, and of your knowledge the tablet and the pen of decree. Sallallahu alayhi. O soul, despair not because of a mistake that is grave. Enormities are like slips compared to his clemency. Sallallahu alayhi. And hopefully mercy from my Lord, when he gives it out, will come according to sinfulness in its quantity. Sallallahu alayhi. My Lord, and make not my hope a hope that is overturned with you, and make my expectance with no deficiency. Sallallahu alayhi. Be kind to your slave in both abodes, for his fortitude, whenever terrors call out to it, will turn tail and flee. Sallallahu alayhi. Let clouds of blessing from you unending rain down upon the Prophet with pouring rain so heavily, steadily. Sallallahu alayhi. For longer than willow branches by the east wind are swayed, and camel drivers excite the camels with melody. Mawlaya salli wa sallim da'iman abadan على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله. يا ربي بالمصطفى بلغ مقاصدنا واغفر لنا ما مضى يا واسع الكرم مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم يا ربي بالمصطفى بلغ مقاصدنا واغفر لنا ما مضى يا واسع الكرم مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. Then pleasure with Abu Bakr, the greatest of company, and Umar, bearer of truth, and then Uthman and Ali. يا ربي بالمصطفى بلغ مقاصدنا واغفر لنا ما مضى يا واسع الكرم. The family and companions and all the followers, the people of purity and patience and piety. يا ربي بالمصطفى بلغ مقاصدنا واغفر لنا ما مضى يا واسع الكرم. My Lord, by the chosen one, make our hopes come to be, and pardon us what has gone, O vast in generosity. يا ربي بالمصطفى بلغ مقاصدنا واغفر لنا ما مضى يا واسع الكرم. And please, my God, do forgive all of the Muslims by what they all recite at the holy mosque and the sanctity. يا ربي بالمصطفى بلغ مقاصدنا واغفر لنا ما مضى يا واسع الكرم, especially the composer and the translator, and all the reciters with passion and in sincerity. يا ربي بالمصطفى بلغ مقاصدنا واغفر لنا ما مضى يا واسع الكرم. By the prestige of him who the goodly land is his home, whose very name is an oath of greatest immensity. يا ربي بالمصطفى بلغ مقاصدنا واغفر لنا ما مضى يا واسع الكرم. This is the Burdah of the selected one, now complete, and praise Allah at the start and finish eternally. يا ربي بالمصطفى بلغ مقاصدنا واغفر لنا ما مضى يا واسع الكرم. The number of verses in it is 160 or more. Relieved by them our woes, O vast in generosity. يا ربي بالمصطفى بلغ مقاصدنا واغفر لنا ما مضى يا واسع الكرم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. My master bless and salute always and forevermore your most beloved creation's greatest entirely. يا ربي بالمصطفى بلغ مقاصدنا واغفر لنا ما مضى يا واسع الكرم. يا ربي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على الحبيب وأهل البيت كلهم. My keeper bless and salute always and forevermore the most beloved and all the household entirely. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله. الفاتحة.